Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the Kaal Realty podcast. Invest smart, live luxuriously. This is your go-to space for smart real estate insights, luxury living tips, and global investment strategies. Whether you're exploring Dubai's property market, aiming for a golden visa, or just looking to grow your wealth wisely. If you're ready to take your lifestyle and investments to the next level, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Let's dive in.
So are you maybe a bit confused by the massive range of quotes you get for setting up a company in Dubai?
Yeah, it seems like everyone gets a different number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're definitely not alone there. We've really dug into why these costs can, swing so wildly.
That's a common point of confusion.
Our mission today really is to cut through all that noise and figure out the actual expenses involved.
And importantly, where you can maybe save a bit.
Yes, definitely. We're drawing on insights from C.A. Karambatra. He's got, over 13 years helping businesses expand to the UAE?
That's right. A lot of experience there.
So let's start at the beginning. What are the absolute core things you have to have? The essentials.
Okay, well, first off, the big one, the license. You can't operate legally without it. It's like your permission slip.
Right, the license. Makes sense.
Then every single company needs a registered address, a physical spot, even if it's, a flexi desk or something.
Okay, address. Got it.
After that, the visa.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically a residence visa. This is super important for banking.
Okay, we'll definitely need to circle back to that banking link.
For sure. And to even start the visa process, you need an immigration card, sometimes called an establishment card.
Another card.
Okay. And finally, don't forget the miscellaneous bits. Things like medicals, biometrics, the stuff that goes with the visa.
Right, those little extras that add up.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like that first piece, the license and address, depends a lot on where you set up.
Oh, absolutely. Location is huge for the initial cost.
So what are we talking, like within Dubai itself?
Inside Dubai, yeah. If you're looking for the most basic license and office address, you're probably looking at around AED 12,500 minimum.
12.5, yeah. And what about those sort of premium zones, like JFZA or DMCC?
Right, the big names, JFZA, DMCC, Dubai Internet City.
Yeah, expect significantly higher license fees there.
Why is that usually? Just the name?
Well, partly prestige, but also often better infrastructure, specific industry focus, maybe easier access to certain markets. They package it differently. Okay, so Dubai itself, even the basic option, has that AED 12,500 starting point. Are there cheaper routes, maybe outside the main city?
Yes, definitely. This is where you can potentially save quite a bit. If you look at free zones outside Dubai City, think Sharjah, like Shams or Ras Al Khaimah, RAK.
Yeah.
The license costs there can be much lower. Our source suggests maybe around AED 6,000.
Wow, like half the price.
Pretty much for the license part. But the trade-off is the commute. You're looking at maybe an hour's drive from central Dubai.
An hour, right. That's something to factor in daily. And just to be clear, when people say mainland Dubai, that's different again.
Exactly. Mainland means you're directly under the Dubai government rules, not in a designated free zone. And setting up there also typically involves higher license fees than those outer free zones, usually more than the basic Dubai free zones too.
Okay, so outer free zones are cheapest, then basic Dubai free zones, then mainland or premium Dubai zones.
Got it. That's a good general hierarchy, yeah.
Now that visa thing you mentioned.
Yeah.
You said it's key for the bank account. How does that work?
Yeah, our expert really stresses this point. For almost all banks in the UAE, you need at least one person in the company, usually a shareholder or manager, to have a valid UAE residence visa before they'll even consider opening your company bank account.
Huh. That's critical, not just optional then.
Not really, no. It's pretty much a gatekeeper for banking.
So what's a common mistake people make with the visa process?
Yeah.
Something that costs them?
A really frequent one is coming to the UAE on a tourist visa first.
Oh.
Then they set up the company while they're here as a tourist, and then they try to change their visa status from tourist to resident while still inside the UAE.
And that's a problem.
It costs extra. That process, the in-country status change, has government fees. According to our source, around AED 1,500.
Oof. 1,500 dirhams just for changing the status locally.
Yep. It's a surprisingly chunky fee and often, totally avoidable if you plan ahead.
So what's the smarter way, the cheaper way to handle it?
Generally, the advice is to start the company setup and the visa application process from your home country before you even travel.
Right. Get the ball rolling remotely.
Exactly. That way, you bypass those in-country status change fees altogether.
Makes sense.
And get this, some people actually find it cheaper to fly back home and re-enter the UAE on the new employment or investor visa rather than pay that status change fee here.
Seriously, flying home and back is cheaper than the admin fee.
Sometimes, yeah. It really shows you how significant that fee can feel.
Wow. Okay, lesson learned.
Yeah.
Sort the visa from home if possible. Now, you also mentioned that immigration card or establishment card. What is that exactly? Is it another big cost?
It's basically your company's registration with the immigration department. It's a separate fee you have to pay.
Okay.
And it's essential. You need this card before you can even start applying for residence visas for anyone, yourself included. So yeah, it's another cost line item to factor in. Not huge, but necessary.
Right, the key to unlocking the visa applications. Yeah. And then there were the miscellaneous things.
Yeah, the small stuff. Don't forget to budget for the medical tests. Everyone getting a residence visa needs a medical fitness test.
Okay, medical.
And biometrics. Fingerprinting, eye scan, that sort of thing. Again, required for the visa and Emirates ID process.
Right. They might seem small one by one, but if you have a few employees...
Exactly. It adds up. These are the little details that sometimes get missed in the initial quotes or budgets.
So, okay, let's try and put some rough totals on this. If we consider everything, license, address, one visa, the card, the extras, what's the minimum we might be looking at? Okay,
so if you go for the most budget-friendly option, that's likely a Freezone outside Dubai, like Shams or Arik.
Right.
With one visa included, you might be able to get started for around AED 12,000 minimum.
Okay, 12,000 for the out-of-town option.
Yeah.
What if you want to be in a Dubai Freezone, but maybe not a premium one?
Then you're probably looking closer to AED 20,500 as a starting point, mainly because that Dubai license fee is higher.
20,500. Okay.
Right.
And the top end, Mainland, or the premium zones.
Yeah. For Mainland setup, or those premium free zones like JFZA, DMCC, expect costs to start around AED 25,000, and they can easily go up from there depending on the specifics.
25K plus. Okay, those figures are really helpful as a baseline. AED 12K, 20.5K, 25K plus. But like just picking the cheapest isn't always the answer, is it?
No, absolutely not. It's a really important point. While cost matters, the best free zone isn't just the cheapest. It really depends on your business.
How so?
Well, what activities does your license need to cover? Who's your target market? Local, international? How many visas do you actually need now versus later? The answers push you towards different zones. Regardless of the initial price tag sometimes, it's about the right fit.
Finding the right environment for your specific business needs, not just the lowest number on the quote.
Exactly, which really highlights why getting some tailored advice is often a good idea.
Yeah, speaking to someone who knows the landscape and can match your needs to the right zone seems pretty valuable.
Definitely. Don't hesitate to seek out that kind of expert guidance to figure out the optimal setup for your specific situation, what works best for you, your goals, and your budget.
Right. Well, this has been really clarifying. We've sort of peeled back the layers on the costs, the license, the huge impact of location, the visa process, especially that status change trap.
And those essential extras like the establishment card and medicals.
Yeah. And we've seen there are real ways to potentially save money if you understand these levers.
Which kind of leads us to a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about the costs and how choosing the right free zone is critical financially. But think about this. What are the non-financial factors that might heavily influence your decision on where to set up your business in the UAE? Things beyond the price tag.
Good question. Like maybe industry clusters, networking opportunities, ease of access.
Exactly. Things like that. What else besides the initial setup cost might be crucial for your long-term success there? That's definitely something worth exploring as you take your next steps.